let's talk about the Boston Celtics and the moves that they've made over the last few days. The East is wide open for whoever wants it at this point, because if we were, in theory, the best team in the East, even though we didn't even win it last year, I'm standing pat if I'm the Cavs, because it's looking like we're getting rid of assets in order to not pay salaries next year. We got rid of Jrue Holiday. We got rid of Kristaps Porzingis. We are now officially underneath the second apron. Bobby, who are you more sad to see go? And what does this mean? And what is this signaling to you for the future of this franchise? I know you've expressed worry about potential Jaylen Brown trade if they're really clearing house. But who are you more sad about, and what does it mean?
It's definitely true. As much as the Kristaps presence changed how we played, having that inside presence as well as, having the stretch five there, Jrue was just something special. We were all so pumped when we got him. He was great not only on the court, but off the court. I think the city of Boston is a little bit more sad that he left than the actual team because of the shit that he did in the city. So it
doesn't like Portland either.
And yeah, I heard he's pissed.
I heard he's pissed too.
But it's definitely Jrue because of I feel like he took over the Marcus Smart presence on this team. It went from chaos to calm and collected because it went from Smart to Jrue. So that take coming out, I just hope it doesn't affect Tatum and Brown and their ability to move forward. That's what worries me. But seeing KP go doesn't hurt too much because of the injury concerns. You know what I mean? We were only able to get back Niang for him. So,
yeah, that was fully just, can someone please take this contract for us? Like, whatever. Like, we can't hold on to it anymore. Hot potato. Because then it's just the physio's room. The entire is so many millions of dollars at this point. Like, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum are already like on the fucking on the health table. Porzingis is going to be at this point. It's just a proven thing. So it is what it is. I would definitely be more sad about Jrue as well.
You went 4?
Charlie. So Ace Bailey has dropped officially. Is he fully in free fall at this point? I think
he didn't work out for those
teams. The consensus is that he wouldn't go to any of these places, and that he was in these interviews. He didn't do super well. He's apparently quite immature. But I just thought, smart money, take the best available player, right? Let's talk about Ace Bailey for a second. Mike, your opinion? Bad interviews, bad representation?
Yeah, just to piggyback off of like the Holiday conversation, like this is the direct opposite of that, right?
Looks tough.
I think it doesn't make sense for a team to waste a top 5 pick on someone that clearly thinks way too highly of themselves. Now, if he gets humbled and he gets selected, like if he falls to 10 or 11 or 12, whatever, I think that could be a good experience for him. I think he could really turn that into something, but I think it's a good pick by the Hornets. They need a good wing, and this guy is it. I just can't pronounce the last name, which is why I refer to him as this guy.
Knuppel? The K's there. Con Knuppel. Yeah, that's right. That sounds more right. Like, that sounds more like how I've heard it. Not like the biggest. It's a little disappointing because I think the Celtics were like highly touting this guy. If we were going to trade up, it sounds all Brad Stevens indications were that if we were going to trade up, this is the guy we were going to trade up for. That being said, I think you can lay your trading Jaylen Brown or Derek White fears to rest at this point. Now, I think those were going to be the assets you probably needed. I think there's still a conversation to be had about what Sam Hauser could get you. Or what would I give you for Sam Hauser? Fucking high five, a ride to the airport. Yeah, I'd probably a Coke and a smile. I don't like nothing. That guy's useless. But it's just not my most favorite type of player.
He has apparently a large market on the open market, is what I've been reading. People are interested in Hauser. I mean, he's a wing that can shoot. He can play a little defense. So I guess I get it a little bit, but
we haven't really seen the defense here.
If you can actually get something for Sam Hauser, though, you do it.
Mike,
I just think, well, we are going to need to supplement 30 points a game next year. Like, I wholeheartedly believe that we can still be like a number 5 or 6 seed. I think maybe even higher in the East.
I would give Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum and Derek White, and those 3 guys. I would be like, you guys get a year, like Al Horford took in Philadelphia. Just go do whatever you want. Go to Rome. Do as the Romans do. We're tanking.
I think you drafted Tatum and Brown because if, God forbid, one of them went down, the other could step in and fill their shoes. Like, that's why you have.
But that's never historically been the case. You can't win properly with one and not the other. right? I mean, you can't. They are a duo. They run a two-man game now.
I guess, would you consider that a success for Jaylen Brown?
I think it would be a failure for me because to let you in on a little secret, the reason why I want them to tank is because we're in the last year of Joe Mazzulla's contract. So if we could just run that down and Joe can play.
He'll be signed before.
Case. And I'll tell you why. There's a 0% chance they sign him. Life is not that fair. You can't send Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers and re-sign Joe Mazzulla because that's not something that's like, that would be too much.
Literally a month ago that both of those things are going to happen.
I was here for both of those.
You sure were.
And you're only half right so far. Yep. You're only half right. And if they re-sign Joe Mazzulla, if Brad Stevens, Mike, there's no way. If Brad Stevens is as a human being that exists as smart as he is with the GM stuff and the coach stuff, right? And how good I've seen him be at every job he's ever had in the Celtics organization, to the point where I was a Brad Stevens defender when the team gave up on him. Like, yeah, I think we were all sort of resigned to the idea that because the team gave up on him, that was it. But I really always thought he was a really good basketball coach. I think he understood the X's and O's, and that's the kind of coach I like coaching my teams, obviously. I don't think that there's much of a place for rah-rah coaches in the NBA in general, but there are certain squad makeups that can really benefit from one. Like the way the Houston Rockets are, the way that the Indiana Pacers are, there's certain guys that really respond to that shit. We built the least rah-rah roster in the entire maybe history of the NBA. Like, you can't even hurt Jaylen Brown's feelings. Like, we never get in fights. We never get in even scuffles. Like, they're the chillest motherfuckers on earth, to a fault, to a point where it makes us go crazy. And Joe Mazzulla's like, all right, we gotta go eat their hearts. This is the day for Warriors. And it's just like, you need to run some plays. Brad Stevens has to understand.
Joe Mazzulla just signed a 3-year contract extension.
No.
I'm just
that would have been so crazy. I would have quit the podcast. I would have quit. I would have been like, that's our show.
No.
I believed you. I believed you.
I did for a second too.
The absolute emotional journey that I just went on live on the podcast. I'm shook it. I'm fully shook it from that avenue. You got me there, dude. It's like you just leapt from around a corner. Wow, Ace Bailey only dropped to 5. Utah picked him. That's really interesting. First move in the new Ainge era was picking Ace Bailey, wing out of Rutgers. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Well, they have 2 first-round picks.
Two
right?
Rutgers. Yeah, 2 Rutgers top 5.
They also have 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what they're doing. I mean, he seemed pretty gung-ho, Ainge Jr. He seemed pretty gung-ho going in there, that they're not going to be a losing team anymore. So we'll see. Yeah, you really scared the shit out of me right there.
And I had Ace go to the Wizards. He did go a little bit sooner.
Yeah, nothing crazy has happened so far. I only wanted us to do this podcast during the watch-along just in case something crazy happened, but the only crazy thing that happened was Joe Mazzulla signed a 3-year contract. Oh my God, that really fucking got me. I'm honestly coming down from like the adrenaline.
I want to watch that clip again because you looked in the same direction that I looked. Like you tried to mimic me. You're like,
what happened? Oh, I'm so scared. Yeah, dude, that's so funny. All right, I don't know how I'm gonna even recover from that. You might have to host the show for a while. No, it's okay. We were talking about the Celtics. If they don't tank and they play like you're basically saying we're gonna try for like an Isaiah season. Like that's your best case scenario.
I think first year of new ownership, they're not going to tank. I think that guy just spent all those billions of dollars. He wants to recoup some of his money, given that he doesn't even own the building. So he's
might not have a choice. We might not have a choice. We might lose 20 games in the first 3 months with Brown and Tatum out.
Brown's not going to miss any time.
He's not going to miss any games?
Nope. He'll be back for the start of training.
That seems really stupid.
So I like Anthony Simons.
Me too.
But for all the reasons that you hate him. Because he's a 3-point shooter. Yeah, a guard that put up 20 points a game last year.
The problem with the trick, like I don't mind him as a player at all. It's just that it's the style, my reservations and why I reacted the way I did is because it just means we're going to still be playing that fucking Joe Mazzulla brand of basketball.
Oh, yeah. Because they're going to just remember how you felt watching Brunson blow by Holiday.
Suicidal.
Right. So like that's why they did what they did. Like he lost the step.
I hated to admit it, but he was offensively a non-factor, and he was defensively could be put in situations where he was on an island. I thought that Brunson did a worse job on Derek White, to be honest with you. I think he fucking dog-walked Derek White all over that series. That was a big problem. And then, we've had this conversation, but like, fuck it, let's like kick them in the teeth while they're on the ground one more time, because it was really annoying what they did. Thanks a lot, Joe Mazzulla. They had every skill set on the court and available to beat the New York Knicks. And Joe Mazzulla couldn't figure out how to use them because we just play a brand of basketball where we blow you out if our shots fall, and there's a good chance you can beat us if you're smart about it when they don't. And I think that you could see the Indiana Pacers, and I think it's such a great example of how you should play basketball, because Rick Carlisle was like just so situational throughout that whole throughout that whole 7 games. Like the thing that you were saying to me when you asked me, and I kept thinking about it throughout the series, because basically the whole series has happened since you and I were last on a show. The thing that you asked me, like, what is there anything Tyrese Halliburton can do to like beat the Oklahoma City Thunder? And I was like, I don't think so. But I wasn't thinking about the shit that Rick Carlisle could do, which was like he made stuff work for 5 minutes at a time, but it was like a crucial 5 minutes. Like at one point he switched Siakam onto SGA in the mid range, and I was like, it's going to take SGA like 5 minutes to figure this out, in a tone of like, don't do that. Like it's going to take, he's going to figure this out right away. And Rick Carlisle, Rick Carlisle, like Mufasa in the sky, looked down at me and was like, I only need 5 minutes of this. And that was the stuff he was doing where it was like, oh, basketball meta energy. And I could not help every time something like that would happen. And I would watch the switches happen. I would watch them carry out the instructions, because that was really like one of the coolest things about watching that, other than the zombie factor, which I'm sure was Bobby's favorite thing of the Pacers. There's there's absolutely no quit. Like we just keep going. We keep playing. The context of the game doesn't apply to us. Like that was awesome. That was amazing. But also how they were carrying out instructions and matchup switches and being unaffected then as they broke down. They were like, okay, next thing. Okay, next thing. And I think that was very Rick Carlisle, because he has the experience and has shown us on a massive stage that he went out in the 2011 finals against the Heat, and he was like, Jesus Christ, I have to contain like the 2 best players in the world. And he's like, here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it a few minutes at a time. I'm going to like expose the LeBron James needs a post game. He needs to go work on that in the summer, which he does. And then he becomes like a much better player because of it. Like Rick Carlisle taught LeBron James like a fucking lesson in that series via Dirk Nowitzki. So it's like, I just loved watching that, and that's what I was so excited to see fall down. But I couldn't help but every time I watched Rick Carlisle do something cool, be like, holy shit, Joe Mazzulla would never have thought of that in a million years. He could fucking throw darts at a dartboard for 1,000 years like a Sisyphean Greek tragedy, and he wouldn't land on one of those ideas, because it's always going to be, just shoot more threes. And not even in the Brad Stevens way that he did it, and not even in the Stan Van Gundy way that he did it, because at least he wanted a presence down low at all times. Just in a Joe Mazzulla, like, what's an inbound play sort of, what do pink crayons taste like sort of way. And I think that's the thing that really annoyed me about him, is that I watch other coaches and I'm like, damn, dude, I think we have so many fucking good players. Do some cool shit with them, bro. Think of some stuff.
No.
I think when you watch him against Spolstra, the year that they got knocked out by them too, it's the same type thing. Where you just see a coach that's just on another level.
But he had so much more. He had so much more leeway with even me at that point, because it was like, man, he got put in a really tough spot, like coming off, to a double promotion, basically coming out of a scandal. I thought that the reason that we really got through that was how like deft Brad Stevens was with everything, and I'm grateful to Joe Mazzulla for stepping in and being the kind of personality that he was stepping in, because I think he needed to have broad shoulders to step in there. And I think that he did calm himself down in order to lead us to a championship. But that was really him just getting out of the way, just calling timeouts at the right time. Like we really needed the bare minimum of coaching to win that championship. Let's be really honest with ourselves, because our roster was absolutely stacked and we didn't really have to play any like other generationally good championship level teams on our way there, if we're really being honest about it. If we had seen Rick Carlisle and the Pacers that year with Joe Mazzulla, even our championship year, I don't know. And like that same Rick Carlisle and the Pacers team that just got to the finals, like I think we might have gotten shocked. I think we might have taken a fucking punch straight to the face after we were all on this podcast being like, we fucked them.
Like Rick Carlisle and the Pacers.
I'm talking about this iteration of them. Yeah. If we had seen like this level, all these players, this run, I think we would have gotten swept aside by the momentum of their run this season too. You know what I mean? Based on everything, the way that they came together. I don't think there was much anybody could have done about the sort of serendipity of that season. But if anyone could do something about it, it's not Joe Mazzulla. It's my point.
Certainly.
Because we bitch and bitch and bitch about getting beat by the fucking Knicks. We would have lost in the next round if we had gotten through New York. Like we would have. And we would have deserved to. Just like we did.
Can I ask a question? Because we talked about Jrue. I want to hear your take.
Trade Johnson to Washington.
Given what we know and what happened, do you still make the trade for Porzingis now?
1,000 times out of 1,000 and twice on Sundays.
Sure.
I'm not pulling. I have the ring.
Because our greatest fear came true. Like, he was never healthy for the playoffs.
We made those, but we got out of those trades clean, dude.
Clean. We got assets back too for both those guys. I mean, Simons is more of an asset than Yang, obviously, but
he's an actual asset, I would say. I think he actually has value, and we're at the very least going to play to his strengths, right? So he's not going to lose value on the team. Yeah, he's not going to lose value on our team, right? He's going to be playing with good players. If Mike's right, and we're just going to the Tatumless Celtics, there might be an Isaiah year possibility. It's kind of an augmented Ewing theory because there's other factors at play, so I don't think it can be a true Ewing theory. But if we do win enough games in the dog shit East, like the absolute dog shit East to get into the playoffs, like, I don't know. That'd be kind of crazy, I guess, but I wouldn't let myself get too excited.
It's June 25th. Celtics are going to win 50 games next year.
I think it's like 48 and 30 something.
I mean, to blow this all up, we're still better than the 76ers. We agree.
Yes.
Yeah. This depends. I mean, this depends. Like if we're asking post-surgery Jaylen Brown to start the season and like lead this team and win a shitload of games, sure. But I'm not 100% locked in on that being the case.
Just for the sake of this scenario, let's just
see what the roster is going to look like either. We don't really know what the roster is going to look like fully. Like we haven't even made our pick in the draft yet.
Pacers' best players out for the entire year. So like we're markedly better than that team. I think we're right on par right now. Like we all said, without Jayson Tatum, still we had more talent than the Knicks. So maybe the Knicks go to number 2, number 1, whatever. But
I mean, the Pacers are a good example. Like if we played the Pacers, us as we're currently constituted, them as they're currently constituted, like I kind of think we get fucked up. Halliburton, we're like, what do we? No Halliburton, no Tatum, but like, what do we do about Pascal Siakam? Like what do we do about him?
Don't worry about him.
If he comes back,
he might be retired. He'll play.
That aged well.
I don't think that it's a lock to beat the Pacers twice. Even without Halliburton. I really don't.
I just don't know that you can name 6 better teams in the Celtics in the East as it's currently constituted.
I think we could be the 6th seed with 44 wins.
I'm going to hit it over 49.5.
I'll give you let's do it right now. I'll be your bookie. Just put it in the log. Let's put $50 on it. I'll take the under of 50. You take the over and like 49.5. That's totally fine. I'll give that to you. I mean, I hope you're right in the sense that I don't hope you're right at all. I want us to lose next season so Joe Mazzulla goes away. We'll see how it goes. Don't you?
Oh, if it's a Thibodeau type situation where if you fire Joe, who are you going to get? Who's actually out there that
Sam Cassell?
The first guy you see when you open the door to the garden, just hire him. The fucking James. Yeah. Ray can do it. Right. That'd be so much fun.
That sounds great. Yeah, that sounds
awesome. Yeah, we're just rolling in. I'd move if I got to be on the Celtic coaching staff. No problem. I'll live out of a hotel for a little while. I'm on the road whenever you want me to join up with the staff. Not fucking Joe Mazzulla's staff though. Ray's staff, I would join. No problem. I'd be happy to do it. That'd be really cool.
I'm intrigued to see how much it changes next year, having one star though instead of the 2, because they're not going to be able to go back and forth like they did and just play ISO ball. Tatum, Brown. They're going to have to change that game plan, Jalen.
There's also the possibility that I agree. I guess I just don't know if he has an idea of what he's going to do. I think Joe Mazzulla's idea is probably going to be like wear a half and half jersey, half Tatum, half Brown. That's a cursed number. He should change his number. 1, just be 1 next year. That'll be it. We're good. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see it too. To be honest with you, because there is the possibility of the Jaylen Brown. Oh, you think I can't run the fucking team season? Like there's that, like I don't doubt that guy. I'm on record that I've always sort of preferred him to Tatum, to be honest with you. So I like his game. I like watching him play basketball. And I think that he was making smart decisions when a lot of the players around him weren't in a lot of situations, which is why he won finals MVP. He obviously he scored a much lower point total than the last like 8 finals MVPs. But if it is just him, do those point totals go up? Is he just more of a scoring threat automatically? And he just has to go because we need him to? Maybe. I mean, maybe he has a statistically best year. That'd be fun to watch. Him and D White in a 2-man game. Maybe they figure something out. I could see it. I really thought we were going to make it longer than
No.
7 picks. I really thought the NBA was faster than this.
Should,
But